You guys still in there? Oh man, it's been a while since I grabbed the camera and made a video. Yeah, a lot longer than I have in the past year. I apologize for that, but we're back, guys. Today we're gonna be teaching you how to DIY vinyl wrap your car to make it look as awful as mine looks here. No, it's actually not that bad. It's pretty good, but I wanted to make this video and show you guys just a little bit more of what you guys might want to do or what you need to do to kind of, make it a little bit better. And just, a little bit of tips of how I did it. I mean, it's peeling up in a lot of spots. It's fine, but just, take my advice. Well, before this video starts, guys, if you guys don't hate kids, then continue watching just for a minute here. My local Mopar group is going to be doing like a Toys for Tots kind of drive thing that I saw that they posted. So, I thought I would try and show up maybe with the little BJP community a little bit here and see if you guys want to, donate some toys to that. So I figured the best way to do this is I'll have a couple different options down in the description for you guys to send money. I think the easiest way is just going to be to donate money through that, and then I can get the toys and bring them. I think it's November 14th, so we only have a couple of weeks. So if you guys do want to do that and help out in the holiday spirit, it's November, we're on our way to December, on the way to the holidays, help some kids out with the Toys for Tots drive. So go ahead and click that down below and help out some people, help some kids out, and hopefully make the holidays better for them. So now to start this video off, down here I noticed that it could use another little tiny piece kind of just down here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in this video and show you guys the whole process of how I do that and kind of step by step and everything. Because, if you look from a distance, it could definitely use a little piece down there just to finish it off. So we're going to go ahead and do that. On that same note, we are hopefully going to be getting rid of these today. If you guys remember the 22-inch Hellcat replicas with the Nitto 420V tires from my Jeep. A lot of you guys wanted them, but nobody actually came through and ended up picking them up or anything like that. A lot of you guys were far, and I didn't really want to ship them. So someone's supposed to be coming today to get them in a little bit. So I'll let you guys know how that goes if I get rid of them and everything. We'll say goodbye to those. But it is time. It is time to start working on this. I just want to start this off by saying, first of all, I'm not an expert. So just, take this info with just, I did all right on my car. So I want to tell you guys how I did all right on my car. Also, for the best results, if you guys have a garage, especially a heated garage, then first of all, you. Then second of all, that's gonna be your best bet to do it in there because yeah, so I got my box of supplies here of everything I need. First thing is just gonna be some soapy water. You can use car soap. I just have some Dawn in here just to be quick, and that's just gonna spray it down and clean it. You can do it better, use that and then some alcohol, really get it clean first, which is what you should do, and then blow it off with like an air compressor if you want some really high quality. If you're doing a DIY in your garage or in your driveway, do it the classic BJP route. Just full send it, spray on some of that, wipe it off, call it a day. It'll be fine. Next thing in our supplies is just gonna be a squeegee like this. I'll have a link down below in the top of the description for everything, including the vinyl, a kit of these kind of things that I would recommend, and just kind of the important things that you need. Things that I would recommend are things like that. A wrap glove, which actually comes in super handy, especially if you're gonna be using heat. Those bigger pieces, you're gonna want to use heat, obviously. And yeah, that's gonna take a lot of technique and a lot of practice. Definitely buy a lot more than you need, and then you should be good to go. So then I'm also gonna grab a couple different microfibers so that I can use one to kind of wipe it down and get the dirt off, and then one to kind of dry it a little bit. And if you're doing big pieces, you can use some of this knifeless, invisible tape, knifeless stuff so you can cut it and make it a little bit easier on yourself. In this case, I'm not going to use that, obviously, because I'm just doing a small piece for this demonstration. This thing's gonna come in super handy. It's basically just gonna slide and cut the vinyl into smaller pieces and kind of slice it off, make it a little bit easier for you. Like I said, there's a whole kit down in the description for you guys to get that I got on Amazon. Worked awesome for me to do what I needed to do, and I would recommend it for the cheap price that it is. Now on that same thing, replacement blades for our X-Acto knife, which isn't an X-Acto knife, it's like one of those retractable ones if I could find it here. Alright, so I have no idea where my little retractable blade went, but it's fine. I'll just use the blade like this. It'll be fine for me, But yeah, then the other thing is gonna be a heat gun. You guys have seen me use this like 100,000 times in the channel, and that's gonna be important. And then our next important thing is gonna be some vinyl. This is just a small piece of scrap that I had because I'm just gonna be doing this scrap piece, kind of the small little one. And then our biggest thing is going to be this little guy right here. This is like a swivel blade. I'll put this exact one down below because there's a lot of scuffed ones on Amazon and ones that you can't really get delivered. You're gonna want to order this and a bunch of replacement blades because they fall out, they get really dull, especially when you're cutting through the paper. So definitely go ahead and get yourself one of these and a bunch of replacement blades. Like I said, I'll have them all linked down below in the top of the description for you guys to check out on Amazon. Get yourself the whole kit and go ahead and do it. I ordered everything on Amazon and did it myself. You guys see my car, looks pretty good. So let's just go ahead and start off with cleaning it. Now, one thing that's going to be really important when you're doing this, you are just doing a small piece or whatever size piece you're doing, you're gonna want to make sure you flatten it out, make sure there's not like too many big creases and stuff in it. This is gonna suck for me today. This piece has like some stuff all over it, so I'm gonna use over here actually, because this has like some glue or something on it. If it has glue or something on it like that and you can't get it off, it's gonna be difficult. It's become like a black spot on it, so just be careful of that. It's gonna suck for me today because it's cold out though, so the vinyl is going to be very, very hard and not fun to work with. So heat is going to be very important today, and I'm probably not going to use much of any. So yeah, that's going to kind of be what it is. So once we have our little piece, like I said, I'm only doing a small little blob here just to kind of fill that small area that I missed. Basically what I'm going to do here is just throw one of my gloves on now. Now once I've got my gloves on, I personally like to just use both of them because it just slides so easy, and you can do a lot with your thumbs and just fingers in general, and you don't have to worry about using like a squeegee. I'm going to throw that in my pocket before I forget, as well as the blades because I don't have my normal blade. But we're going to grab our little X-Acto blade here with the swivel on it, which is right here. You guys can kind of see what that looks like. Hopefully it'll focus for you and you can actually see what it looks like. But yeah, it's just like a little swivel blade and the top will spin. So basically you're gonna have to have a little bit of a creative imagination when you're doing this, because you want to go ahead and just create like a blob shape. One thing to think of is where you're gonna be putting it, so you can kind of figure out like a good shape and angle for it. You will be placing it so it can kind of change, but you're just gonna basically want to start somewhere, and wherever you start you're gonna kind of want to just go quick and like a nice seamless basically one big movement. You don't want to move it around and pick it up because then you're gonna get weird lines. You can fix them after, I'll show you how to do that, but we're gonna go ahead and just cut this now. Alright, so I'll throw the scrap to the side. You guys can see what we're working with here. I had to move it there at the end. You probably saw that happen. So you can see it's fairly good. There's kind of a big blob over here, which could use a little bit more of like a wave in here, like this, to make it a little bit more. But for now, I'm gonna go see how this looks and try and place it, see how it looks like that. And if it looks good, then we'll go ahead and show you how to stick it. Now we're gonna be deciding how we want to place this. I know I have this one here already, so I kind of don't want it to be like too close up or too close to this one or anything. I just kind of want it to be small like this, basically. So you guys can see this is just gonna add a little bit of overlap here onto this side, like overlap on this, so that we get a nice little crease in there and it kind of makes it flow throughout. But we also don't want it to go too low underneath. So basically, if I'm gonna be doing this, what I'm gonna do is right about here, I'll probably end up cutting it as I place it, but we're gonna go ahead and just make sure this is cleaned off with my glove. I just kind of wipe it down to make sure there's no like fuzzy stuff and whatever. I'm not super particular about a piece like this. Some of the bigger pieces might take a while of putting them on, taking them off, putting them on, taking them off, kind of, you know, having fun with it. But we're just gonna go ahead and peel the backing off of the vinyl here, which, you know, can be fun and a little bit of a pain, but once you get it, you'll be good. So peel this off. On bigger pieces, you might have some issues because you'll see how the backing can crease, and it can add like a little crease mark to it there. So you guys can fix that with some heat. I'll show you guys how to do that, and you'll be good to go. So we know we're gonna go like right about here probably, and just something like this, I would say, I think is pretty good. Just kind of gently set it on there and just get it tacked on just so we can see how it looks. I'm actually just gonna use this little fold line as my like starting point. You kind of just want to find a flat spot usually and then work from the middle up and down. That's what I found to work the best. If you're doing a bigger piece like there's one up here on the door, which is huge, you definitely want to start in the middle, create like a nice crease line down the middle, and then that way you can work it up and down without just kind of letting it set and not having to press or peel or pull or anything like that. So once we got this set on here, I'm just gonna step back and look at it. To me, it looks good, and it's just gonna add a little bit more depth. I think I might actually move it, just turn it a little bit more. So just to do that, you're just gonna peel it off, obviously. Smaller pieces like this are gonna be your best bet to learn to work with, just to get a little bit more familiar with the vinyl. But I think I'm gonna go something more like this. I think this right here will be good. So if we just kind of let it sit on there for itself like this, and then step back, let's see. I don't know if you guys see this, but a spider just came crawling out here, so we're just gonna get him off of there. And then, yeah, it's kind of, I don't want it to be super big here, so I kind of need to pull it down even more. So I'm gonna reset it again. That's the nice thing about working with vinyl. You can kind of reset it as much as you need to.
1 winner later.
All right, so hopefully you can see a little bit better there. So I have this nice crease line down the middle, which we have it kind of tacked onto. So now what I'm gonna do is just peel from the top and pull this all down so it's not stuck, and just make sure that it's, you know, fairly workable and not gonna have to be stretched or anything like that. So we just wanna make sure it's like nice from this point, and then we'll work our way out from the middle on that crease line. This is just gonna allow it to kind of settle where it needs to settle, rather than like pushing it and like making it stretch and having to stretch it and having a pain of a fight. And then, like I said, this piece is going to be really easy because it's a small piece and we're only going to have one little cut. So this is kind of where you're going to want to start. Maybe some smaller pieces, get used to it. I went right for big pieces because I like to full send things, but yeah. Then we're just going to grab this and push out from that middle line and just kind of slowly ease it on there and make it nice and smooth. Once we get up to here, we're going to kind of push it into the crack a little bit so that we get a little bit more coverage, and then out of the crack and up onto this half. You guys can see here, this is what it will look like. You can see it's kind of in the crack. Don't worry, we're going to use some heat here and add a little bit of extra stretch to it almost, and then we'll kind of flatten it out and make it look good. So now that part's done, let's push this part all on and make sure that this is nice and stuck on into the crease, everything around the curve. And then, yeah, from there, it's pretty simple because now, like I said, this is a small piece. Bigger pieces will be a lot harder to work with. You'll see there's like bite marks on the corner of this because like I usually just keep it in my mouth and just be working. So that's a little tip if you guys are going to be doing that. So now I need to think how far this is going to come under, because we don't want it to be up underneath too much because it is really dirty and will get scratched up and stuff like that, you know, scrapes. I think this piece might be good enough to just pull all the way under so I don't have to worry about it. Normally I would cut it off so that it doesn't get too much, but I think this will be fine. I'll be able to work it. So this is nice because it's not super cold out today, but it is fairly cold. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's fairly chilly today. So pieces like this, smaller pieces, will be fine. If you're doing bigger pieces in the cold like this, it's gonna suck. I will warn you now. But yeah, so we're gonna just kind of start pushing down like the same thing that we did before, just from that crease line, and just kind of work it down and just apply a decent amount of pressure, which will push the bubbles out. Make sure, like I said, I'm gonna have links for everything down below. I recommend you get some good like vivid air release like this is, and that way you don't have to worry about it too much when like the air release and stuff, and it'll kind of help you learn a little bit with how much pressure to put. Because if you put a fair amount of pressure onto it, it will push out those bubbles and you won't have to worry about them. So now this is where the issue is going to start to come up, and that's going to be the underside because there's dirt and stuff under there and scratches. So I'm just going to use my gloves and just kind of work it down and under and just kind of work it. Luckily this piece is just perfect size that it's not going to go onto like around the trim or anything like that. It's going to fit just perfectly on the bottom side of the side skirt, so it'll be perfectly fine just like that. And then yeah, the piece is pretty much on. Now all we have is this one cut to make, and then basically just gonna heat this up and press it in just to make sure it goes nice into the door sill, and that's it. Now it sucks that I don't have my normal razor blade because that would make things just a lot easier, but we're just gonna pull this out and just carefully, hopefully, grab one of these blades and not cut myself. I will recommend these breakaway blades though, because they are fantastic. I mean, these are cheap Chinese ones, so they kind of suck a little bit, you know, they're like really cheap quality. But once you figure out how to break them, they come in really handy. So it's gonna be more difficult for me to do this with just this versus having the actual blade to do it. But basically, you want a fresh blade pretty much all the time. And basically, the way I'm gonna do this one is because when you're looking down on it, you're gonna see more from the top than you are at the bottom. So I'm gonna cut closer to this top line, but still fairly just straight across basically. But I'm gonna cut closer, like I said, to this. You don't wanna start exactly at the end either. You wanna start just like a little bit before the end. And yeah, just kind of work across that line. Just make sure there's enough that it's gonna be able to fold under and you'll be good to go. Try and keep it as straight as possible so you don't get like jagged lines. Alright, so just a super simple cut like that. I'm going to put this blade back because that's all the cutting I need to do with it. Now I'm going to grab my lovely heat gun, which be careful because I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but right there's a burn, and I got another one over here because yeah, just don't be a dumb like me and you won't burn yourself like that. But yeah, I'm just going to add a little bit of heat, push this in, and that'll kind of allow it to settle. And then I'm going to add a bunch more heat, which will kind of show me where it's going to peel up and stuff like that, and then I can kind of work it and fix it before, so you get that little heat treatment and you don't have any issues. So I'm just gonna throw the heat on and get to work. All right, don't be stupid like me. Before you go to heat it up, make sure that you cut because remember we started a little bit before, so make sure you just flip it and cut that the rest of the way. Like that, and now we can heat it. I always like to heat the bottom as well, especially like right now because it's cold out, just to make sure it's not going to peel up underneath, because that is the worst, which I can already feel a spot that's going to happen. So let me go ahead and cut that now and fix it real quick. So basically what happened under there was just the piece was overlapping on like the outside like trim piece, so it was having a little bit of issues. So I just went ahead and cut it so that it doesn't overlap there and it won't peel up. Then I'm just gonna add a bunch of heat underneath and make sure it's not curling or anything. Now we're gonna get into the door sill and work it the rest of the way. You can see how it's kind of peeled up here just because it hasn't been pressed down yet, but once we get that pressed down nicely like this, it should be good. It's kind of a little rough cut on it. It's not super bad. You're not gonna see it when the door is closed. If the door's open, then you might see it, but overall not a big deal. Just gonna heat it up a ton at the end here and just make sure that it doesn't peel up or anything like that, and get it pressed down smoothly, and then we're good to go. So that spot's good and it's all set, and you just basically get it like nice and tacky so you can feel that it's not going to peel up, and you're good to go. Now it's just the bottom side of the door. This spot's definitely difficult to film and record because it's such a small spot, but hopefully you guys can see here. This is what it's left with. You see this little like piece, you can kind of flick it a little bit. So we're just going to use heat to basically curl that around. Again, heat it really, really well after so that it doesn't peel back up, and then we'll be good, and that's literally it. And that hopefully showed you a lot of the basics on how to do this. So yeah guys, hopefully on that note you guys were able to see how to do it and basically how I did the whole car. Like I said, the bigger pieces can be a little bit more of a pain. If you guys want to see a video on how to do a big piece like that, then let me know, and get this video like maybe 100 likes, and comment down below and let me know you guys want me to do that, because I could go ahead and do it and show you some bigger pieces, either on my car with a different color or just on someone else's car. Maybe my mom's Kia Soul gets a camo wrap. I don't know, we'll see. Let me know down below what you guys want. Of course, like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, if you guys want to help out, top links in the description, or I guess below the top, I don't know, around the top links in the description, or comment and let me know, DM me on Instagram, whatever, however you guys want to get some money sent over so that we can get some toys. Obviously I'll make that into a video and show you guys buying all the toys so you guys know that I'm actually spending the money on that and I'm not just, you know, taking your money. I do want to see if we can, you know, get the BJP community out here and see if we can get the YouTube channel to do a little bit of good and help out some kids in the holiday season. So yeah, if you do want to help out with that, let me know or comment down below. But I hope you did enjoy this video. Hopefully it helped a little bit. If there's anything else you want to see, just let me know. I'm always looking for new video ideas. Been having a lot of fun lately and just, you know, taking a break from the YouTube, stepping back a little bit and just letting things work how they need to. But that's gonna be about it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure you smash that like button down below. Help the YouTube algorithm, help this video out to more people, and of course help the channel grow. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you click the subscribe button down below to be notified when new videos go live, because, you know, the videos are a lot more sporadic now, so you want to be notified and get those bell notifications when the videos do go live. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace.